Well, hi guys, Mark here. We're here again today at Poole Moto here in the south of England, and today we're going to be test riding the Triumph Speedmaster 1200. Stay tuned and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Okay then guys, let's take a look around this 2021 Triumph Speedmaster. Again, kindly loaned to me by Poole Moto. I'll put a link to their website in the description, and this bike is currently for sale through them. So price on these, currently they're coming in at £12,395 or £13,195 for the Chrome edition. This bike's currently available at about £11,000. So the engine on this is the absolute star of the show. It's an 1200cc liquid cooled 8-valve single overhead cam with a 270-degree crank, which gives it that fantastic feel and sound like a V-twin, but it's actually a parallel twin. So power on this, it's 77 horsepower at a super low 6,100 RPM. But the real star of the show is the torque, 106 newton meters at a super low 4,000 RPM. So even though it's a 1200 with quite a low modest power output, what you get from that is super high torque. So it's got incredible torque. It pulls any gear at very, very low RPM. So the weight on this is quite heavy, 263 kilograms wet weight, but because it's got a nice low seat height of 705mm, it doesn't actually feel too bad to sort of throw a leg over and pull off the side stand. Take a look at me on the bike. I'm 5'7" tall, weigh about 75 kilos. You can just see how I fit it, so you can compare that for yourself. So got a few little extras fitted to this, all these little gold bits, little bits of bling, and the screen, also the little fly screen. Fuel tank on these, not that big, it's 12 litres, but they're pretty economical, these engines, because they're revving so low. You should get about 60 miles per gallon UK, 4.5 litres per 100 kilometres. So tyres on these, we're running Avon Cobras, and these are 16-inch wheels, front and rear. So being a cruiser, all the controls, all the footrests are quite far forward. Got a 6-speed gearbox on this, which is very positive. So this being the 21 plate, 2021 model, we get LEDs all round now. A more comfortable seat with kind of like a lumbar support. It's got 2 riding modes. We've got cruise control, traction control. Got twin discs up front with Brembo calipers, which look to be like twin piston calipers. And on the rear we have a single disc. So we've got 47mm Showa forks up front, and we have a preload tucked in there, a rear single shock in the back there, which looks to be preload adjustable. I do like the way they've kind of made the fuel injection look like carburetors. That's a nice touch. Top speed around about 115 miles an hour on this. And we got absolutely brilliant 10,000 mile service intervals, which is superb. Right then guys, let's do the test ride. Okay then guys, Triumph Speedmaster test ride time. So let's see what this is like. So 263 kilograms wet weight, but it's very easy. Well, I say easy, it's moderately easy to put off the side stand because the weight's so low. Nice low seat height of 705 millimeters, and I'm only a small guy, 5'7", and I can get my feet flat to the ground with the knees are bent, so that's great. So we've got the key on the side here. So nice sort of analog display there with all your sort of warning lights. You've got your different riding modes. You've got road and rain. You can change this here for RPM, traction control on. It's only done 750 miles, this bike. Trip meters, miles per gallon, range till empty, and time. And I'm going to keep it on RPM. So all the switch gear here. We've got high and low beam. I think that's your running lights there. Your info button, you've got your indicators, horn, cruise control button. Over on this side you've got engine kill, engine start, that's your riding mode button, and your hazards. We have a adjustable 4-span cable clutch, which feels to be quite light, and a span adjustable front brake lever. Right then, let's try this. Cool. So I must admit, this is a bike that's kind of slipped through the net for me over the past few years. I've always wanted to try a Speedmaster, and straight away, what a torque monster, what a fantastic noise. And you've got that beautiful Triumph build quality. Well, let's try this then. So the feet are right forwards, nicely into first gear, and a very light, smooth take up on the clutch, and away we go. Okay guys, out on the open road with the Triumph Speedmaster, and first off, what an engine. You know, I love these big engines which are designed for torque. It just pulls so strongly. The torque is absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, back to basics. Just run through the bike in the usual way. Starting off with the mirrors. So very clear, and they don't really shake at all. I can see a good view behind, and I can see a tiny little bit of my elbows, about 10%, but all in all, very clear mirrors. The speedo, the dash, very clear. I can see my speed, my gear, and my revs all very easily. So that's all good. So the handling, obviously, is a very long wheelbase cruiser with a very relaxed steering head angle. So the handling is very sort of slow and relaxed, typical cruiser style. But the suspension feels very plush. There's no sort of jolt through my spine. Rear suspension feels pretty decent. Nice and compliant on this bumpy road now. And the front feels good as well, front forks. So what gets you about this is it's just super low revving. I mean, we're in top gear now, 6th gear, 60 miles an hour, just turning over at a super low 2,500 RPM. So very impressive. Just drop it down to 4th, open it up, and whoa, what a wave of torque comes through. So while we're cruising like this, it's a very smooth bike. You can definitely tell that it's a twin, but all you can feel is just a nice sort of throb coming through the foot pegs. It's not annoying in the slightest, it's just part of the character of the bike. Right, we'll try the brakes out now. Try front and rear together. Here we go, nothing behind. So yeah, all very acceptable for such a heavy bike. Right, first gear, a little bit of an acceleration test. The fuel light come on. So there we are, 60 mile an hour in about 4 or 5 seconds, so it's pretty rapid. So riding position, obviously cruiser, feet forward, very comfortable seat. I've been on this bike for over an hour and there are no aches or pains or numb bums, so it's a good improvement of the seat of this model. You could easily ride this all day, I would say. It's got very nice sort of wide bars which are sort of raked back here as well, So it's a super relaxed riding position, great for all day comfort. Back brake on its own, it's got a good bit of bite to it as well, so that's good. Just hope this rain holds off for another half an hour. Right, so we're just going to come into town now, just to check the fueling of this monster 1200 engine. Make sure it's not too snatchy. Got it in road mode, so we're in second gear at the moment, just over 2000 RPM. Put it into third, see if it will take that. A little bit chuggy in third, drop it down to second. Yeah, it's a very, very mellow, soft throttle response, so that's all good, very nice indeed. It's just purring along, second gear, 2,500 revs. No hunting, surging or any nasties in the fueling. Very nice indeed. So there's no hunting, it's not snatchy throttle, so that's excellent. I mean, it is a big bike, no doubting that, big wide bars, but you could still do a bit of commuting on this, no problem at all. You're going to be touring on this through villages and towns, and yeah, it's just purring along here very, very happily indeed in second gear. So no problems at all, guys, with town on the Speedmaster, all good. So we're just going to come out of town now, just opening it up, third gear. Cool, doesn't it go? Wow, it's got a beautiful spread of torque. It pulls from virtually nothing. Very, very impressive. So let's see how the Speedmaster handles some twists. Let's say it's a pretty big bike, long wheelbase, but it's pretty agile. Tyres, the Avon tyres feel good. It's just that lovely glow revving engine, it's just glorious. Here comes the rain. Oh. Yeah, it's not bad round the corners. Suspension feels very good. It's very compliant, very plush. Yeah, you can hustle this round the bends, no problem. Let's try those brakes again. Yeah, they're more than adequate, nice and strong. Obviously it's a big old bike. So fourth gear, just a little roll on now. Wow. What a colossal amount of torque. Absolutely fantastic. Right guys, let's take it on the dual carriageway next. Okay guys, just onto the dual carriageway now, into top gear, just chugging along at a very leisurely 3000 RPM. Apologies for the rain on the camera. So the wind blast, totally acceptable. It's quite a steady sort of wind blast, no problem at all there. Just try the cruise control out. That's one touch operation, that's very easy. That all works lovely. It's just the sheer relaxingness of the engine. It's just 3000 RPM, absolutely amazing. Bike feels incredibly stable, as you can imagine, at this sort of speed. And in top gear, opening it up, a tidal colossal wave of torque on tap. So very, very impressive at the higher speeds. 5-star cruising bike in my opinion. Guys, let's wrap it up here, have a little final walk around. Apologies for this weather. So a little sound check for you. So it sounds absolutely glorious, and into first and very easily into neutral. Give you a last little look at that dash, and turn it off just on the side here. Pretty decent side stand. Right, we'll just see what it's like to push about. So it's not too heavy off the side stand, and actually for a big old bike that's quite easy to push about. So got good leverage on the bars there, so no problem at all there. Right, we'll have a little final walkabout. So I forgot to say earlier, it's chain driven, but yeah, very nice build quality, typical Triumph, excellent service intervals of 10,000 miles. So I found the front forks, front suspension to be very good and compliant, and the rear, no problem at all there. Brakes, not incredible, but more than adequate to pull up a bike of this sort of style. Star of the show, obviously, the engine. I've averaged 63 miles per gallon on the dash on this little ride, so that's excellent. So if you're in the market, guys, for a sort of cruiser with a monster engine, definitely give one of these a look. It really is a joy to ride. Cruisers have never really been my thing, but with an engine with this much sort of character and punch, it really has changed my thoughts a bit. So there you go, guys. Please give me a like, share and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to post your comments down below as always, what you think about the Triumph Speedmaster. And I'll catch you again in a week or so for another review, as long as this weather holds off. Alright guys, ride safe, all the best, and bye for now.